Hey everyone, so today's video is going to focus on creating effective instructional videos. So our goal today is to provide strategies and tips for creating effective instructional videos across all content. So not just thinking about one, but hopefully reaching all of you. So this graph is showing student engagement with videos, and hopefully you noticed or you kind of see here the steep drop off after 9 minutes. So that really shows us, the research shows that basically in a tutorial video, if it goes longer than 9 minutes, then you're really losing student engagement. This is not the same as, like, say, reading a book or something in an ELA if you're recording yourself reading. That's not the same. I'm talking about a tutorial where you're really showing them how to do something or really giving information. So what you really need to think about when you're first planning your video is to really chunk your instruction. You want your video to only cover one objective, and it should be really focused. So make sure that you are choosing, in your objective, you're choosing something that you're really getting hyper focused on. So you're only recording this video about plot, or you're only recording this video about solving linear equations. So you're just getting really hyper focused, and you want to keep it short. So that's your first step, chunk your instruction. So now it's time to start planning your slides or your presentation. So I'm using Google Slides, and I recommend using Google Slides. You don't have to use Google Slides. You can use just like a digital whiteboard, or maybe you have a document that you're showing students and you're using visual cues on that. So the thing with planning is that you want to make sure that your the parts of the video that you're showing the students is using visual cues, like highlighting. Maybe you're circling things, you're using handwriting when you can. And that kind of thing really makes the video more personal. It makes the kids pay attention to it. It's much more engaging. You want to use less text. Try to use more visuals when you can, and be clear. Don't get really wordy, because that's when you'll lose students. It's too much to talk, or for them to listen to you talk, while they also have to read an entire page of text. So keep those things in mind when you're planning for your video. I've also linked in on the instruction sheet for today some slides templates. There are templates for ELA and history, and then there's templates for math and science, and that can kind of give you somewhere to start when you are planning out your slides for your video. Okay, so now you've chunked your instruction, you've planned out your slides, you've got them all ready to go, you know where you're going to write things in, you know where you're going to stop and pause and things like that. So now it's time to record. So first of all, before I go into the tools you should use, remember that when you're recording, you want to be yourself. So your students know you, they know your voice, they want to hear from you. So speak in the normal way that you normally would talk. If you say, or if you make a mistake, be like, oops, sorry, like, just be a human in your video. You also want to speak fast, which I know seems like crazy, like they're watching this video, don't I want to go a little slower? Research shows that they're going to stop the video if they need to, and they'll reverse and go back. So make sure that you're keep moving. Speak fast. It's more engaging. They're more into it if they aren't bored by your voice. Do you have to show your face? Not necessarily. It helps them connect to you. So I do recommend maybe showing your face in the beginning and saying, like, hey, here's what we're doing today. Watch this video, that sort of thing. But what the research isn't totally clear on if it's best or if it's not. But what they have found is that students do sometimes get distracted by, like, the little picture-in-a-picture thing. Like, here's me down here in the corner, and I keep moving it around my screen, and it's distracting. So what they do find is if you put your video or put your face in the beginning and then maybe show your face at the end, that's a little less distracting. So these tools over here are probably your best bet when you're thinking about recording. So Screencastify, many of us used in the spring. Screencastify is just a Google Chrome extension that is free, but it limits you to 5 minutes. But it is nice because the video is saved like directly in your drive, which is awesome. Screencast-O-Matic is one that you actually have to like download. It is also free, or that has a free version. It gives you 15 minutes. Now, granted, remember, we don't necessarily want a 15-minute video, but just in case. And you're not limited, or you can edit a little bit with Screencast-O-Matic. Google Meet and Zoom, you guys should obviously already know about these, but they can be useful for recording yourself, especially like if you want to record yourself in your classroom. So you can just record yourself, or you can record like a whiteboard or something like that. So that they can be useful, but I would recommend these two first. So now you've recorded your video and it's all finished, but you need a way to make sure that the students are engaged with it and they are actively learning from it. So students should really see these videos as like an actual task that they have to do. It's not just like a thing that's there to help them. It's actually part of the lesson. In a normal traditional lesson, if you are giving a lecture or giving any direct instruction, you're going to be stopping and asking questions. So what you can do is use these tools here, Edpuzzle and PlayPosit. I prefer Edpuzzle, but you can check into PlayPosit. And you can embed questions much like you guys are doing now. So Edpuzzle is what you're using right now. You can also have students take notes during your video. That gets a little tricky during totally online classes because students then have to watch the video and take notes at the same time. So you might have to teach them a strategy where they split their screen and you teach them how to take notes on blank pieces of paper or whatever it is. Maybe you give them notes on Google Docs, and like I said, they have to type into that while they're watching the video. Again, this is a little more, this gets a little tricky for them, so I would recommend maybe using Edpuzzle first, and then if you really do want to have them take notes, that's fine. Just figure out a way to make sure that they're understanding how to best take notes. So some questions that you all might have, how am I using handwriting on a computer, and am I expected to do that, or how do I do that? So there's a couple things about this. I myself right now I'm recording this on an iPad, so I'm using an iPad, which is how I'm able to write. There are tools that you can use. The math department was able to do a donor's choose to get these tools. They should be linked in the document from today, but there are digital writing tablets that will allow you to write on screen. And like I said, research does show that handwriting helps a lot, especially if you're asking the kids to take notes. So that might be something that we need to talk about getting everyone, or you could do a donor's choose for, or you can even, if you really wanted to, you could purchase it for yourself. They're $40 on Amazon. Do you have to create slides for every video? No, but it helps. So this kind of gives, we've talked about consistency in the online classroom, and this kind of gives some consistency for the students. It also helps you kind of plan out your thoughts. If you are, say, a math teacher and you're just showing how to work out problems, you can just simply pull up like a whiteboard and do your writing off to the side on that, a digital whiteboard, Do I have to use Edpuzzle or PlayPosit for every video? So those, again, were those tools to put in the embedded questions. Not every video, but if it's an instructional video where you're really trying to explain a concept or explain a skill, then I would encourage it, because it does help to make sure, one, that the students have watched the video and that they're actively learning, not just sitting and getting. Can I just wing it? I wouldn't. It takes a little bit of practice, so I would not just go into making a video just blindly, like staring at your computer and just start writing or explaining something. You really should plan out how you can chunk your instruction, and think about what objective that you're really focusing on so that you're not just randomly talking and have no idea what you're saying. Okay, so next steps for today. Please go through and watch the example videos that I linked in the instructions for today. Try to watch more than just the one for your content area. You can learn from the other videos as well. And then you're going to look at your first objective, not like the objective for not like the first week where you're just getting students acclimated to the online environment. You're not really into your curriculum yet. Really look at your first curriculum objective and think about where you're going to have to create an instructional video. And then you want to start working on your first, see, I should have wrote instructional. First instructional video following the strategies given in this video. So you want to go ahead and start working on that, planning it out, doing all the things, chunk the instruction, plan the video, start recording, and then go ahead and have that video ready to share so that we can get in our content teams and get some feedback on those videos and have that ready by next week. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out, help each other. This is new for all of us, and hopefully we can create some great content.